Hello, in this video, I will present you a new feature in the Microsoft Purview Data Catalog called Governance Domain. Governance Domain, it's a very important concept in the new experience because it will be a kind of logical group of several business concepts like data product, glossary term, objective and key results. This is something new. Also, critical data elements and custom attributes. All new feature that will be super important inside governance domain. And this is something that you will be able to present to your business users. What I really like in this concept, it's very business oriented and you can start even if you don't have technical assets or technical definition in the solution. The aim of the governance domain is to have at a glance a high level of business information like the type of governance domain, but also the owner, the status, information about data quality, and so on. Here you've got a link to an article that we have on our website if you want to have more information. Actually, the governance domain is connected to so many another business concepts, like I explained previously, so data products, glossary terms, and so on. All these new concepts will allow business users to search amount of data, but this amount of data will be done through the business domain, but through the data product. And the data product will expose a set of assets coming from different kind of sources. It could be tables, Power BI reports, SQL Server table on premises, and so on and so on. And what is super important, and this is what I said previously, you don't need to have technical score, no technical things already done. You can start directly the business side of the data governance directly with the governance domain. On that, it's very important. But you have prerequisite to be able to use it. So of course you need to have a good level of permissions. So the first one, it will be at tenant level. The second one at the data catalog level, and and of course at governance level if you need to have specific information like data stewardship or data product owner. This is something that I already covered during the very first video, but of course, I will show you that in this video. But let's see that in action. So here I am in my Purview portal. Just before to start, I would like to show you where to check your permission to use the governance domain. The first thing, you have to go in settings, roles and scope, role groups, and in role and groups, be sure the user belong to the governance role, data governance role. So you have to check this first thing first. The second one, so here for instance, Franmer demo is in this group. The second one, in solution settings, you need to go in data catalog and check the permission here in role and permissions to the data governance administrator on the governance domain creator. So if you want to add, for instance, from Merdemo, the capability to create a new governance domain, you have to add the user here. Here we go. So here in the Microsoft Purview portal, if you want to create a governance domain, you have to click here in Data Catalog. In Data Catalog, then you have to go in Catalog Management and Governance Domain. In Governance Domain, here you will be able to create a new governance domain. So here I am starting from scratch, so I have nothing. So here, click on New Governance Domain and give it a name. So for instance, we can call it From and Corp Marketing Domain. Of course, you have to give a description of your domain, and you can select the type here and the parent if you want to have a kind of hierarchy between your governance domain, and click on Create. Here you will get your governance domain overview like this. So by default, we'll get that. And of course, we have nothing in each core elements of the governance domain. So the thing that we can do here, we can start, for instance, to create glossary term. So here you can create a term and enter some term that you would like to add to this governance domain. So let's imagine here we are dealing with movies, event, and concert. So here we would like to create a term for movies. So let's define some terms. So for instance, actors. You need to add a description like this, for instance. So you can use rich text if needed, like this. And you can also create a kind of hierarchy for your glossary term if you want to define a parent term. And you can add acronym. And if you want to have a resource like a key pair information, for instance, the name of the resource and the link to a specific document. So for instance, we can add a resource like definition and add a link to a website and click on create. And here I've got my first glossary term. And if I click here, boom, I go directly to the website that I just created previously. And of course, you can repeat the process to create all your glossary terms. So here I created some few glossary terms just to show you quickly what you can get. But you can also here change the view, especially if you create a kind of hierarchy view. You can see here a global a term with child ones right over there. So now if I go back at my governance domain, I can see now that I've got 3 terms. You can also here create OKR. OKR, it will be a kind of objective or key performance indicator of why you are creating this governance domain on the goal you would like to achieve. So here, from this button, you can create a new OKR. Actually, a new OKR, it's a kind of objective, and you will have more one or more indicator inside this objective. So let's call this new OKR movie promote new movies. I added here movies in case if you have several OKR for several line of business. It can be it could be a kind of name nomenclature if you want to find it quickly in case you have many of OKR, but it's just a suggestion. So here, of course, you have to define a target date. Okay, let's pick this one, for instance, and click on create. And here we are. We have now the OKR. So now we need to add some key results. So let's click on it. So let's call it, for instance, create a campaign to promote new movies. So you have to define the status. So here we are at the beginning, but maybe you need to track the progress. So the goal could be, for instance, 5 new campaigns, and the maximum amount could be 7 in case of we exceeded the target. And then we can define the progress, for instance, like this, and you can see here that the indicator is updated according the information we are setting right there. So let's imagine we are like this and click on create. You can, of course, create many key results in case you have several indicators on the same OKR. So I will create few of them and show you the result just after that. So here I repeated the process to create more key results. So here just to show you quickly the ones that I just created. And of course, when we will have Dala product, and I will explain that in another video, you will be able to link it to the data product. So now let's go back to the governance domain. And now here you can see we have one OKR. And again, if I click on it, I will get my OKR, and this OKR has three key results, and you will get also the overall progression. So let's go back here. Now you can also create a critical data element or custom attributes. In terms of critical data element, but also for data product, we need to add first some information from asset. It means here for these two boxes here for data products and critical data element, you need to at least have some scans to get technical asset in the data map. So now let's say for any kind of reasons for this governance domain, you need to create a custom attribute, something that is not provided out of the box. So what you can do here in the custom attribute section, you can first create a new group. The new group will hold all your attributes. So let's give it a name. So let's call it, for instance, sensitivity information. So let's add here some description like this. So you can notice that we can have rich text in your description box. And you can define owner so that it should be good, and click on create. So now we have a new group. And inside this group, you can create attribute. So now we can add attribute to this group. So here, just click on new attribute here. So you have to give a name, a description. So again, you can also add rich text on it. You can mark it as required if needed. And you can also define the file type. So let's say here, single choice. And you can add some choices. So for instance, customer, social network, and for instance, customer under NDA. And why not? We can add a term to define what is NDA in this case. And here, click create. So now we have our first attribute in this custom attribute group. So you can create more attribute if you want. So here, for instance, I create a new attribute following the same process like previously. So here we go. Now we have our custom attribute group on two attributes. So let's go back here to at governance domain. So now here at governance domain, I can see here I've got a custom attribute. So I can click on it just to review it. And here we go. We have our custom attribute group, and we can use it now, for instance, for a glossary term. Let me show you. If I go back here at governance domain and go in my glossary term, I can, for instance, pick one. Let's say actor, for instance. And here I can click on add attribute group. And here I will be able to grab the group we just created previously, click add, and then select the information. And here we go. So now if I go back here at governance domain to introduce you a very important concept of roles. Here at governance domain, you will have some roles that allow you to manage your governance domain and to manage also data product, but also information like policies, profiling, data quality, and so on and so on. Be careful here on the governance domain reader, when you assign a role right over there, it will be for all governance domain. It means that you will also have get read access to other data product in another governance domain. So be careful with this role. So here you will be able to define roles for your governance domain. And in this tab, it just for information purpose only, you will be able to add, for instance, information for the marketing, saying that this governance domain is mapped to the marketing collection in the Lala map.